So welcome back, everyone, to more from Alan Wake 2. I've come back down into the morgue here as we are taking stock from all of the carnage from the events here and finding out that Alan Wake was indeed Scratch all along, the battle of that, Jaakko's death, and trying to work out what the hell we do now. Turns out there is some interesting things down here, as it turns out. Over here on the left side, there's an interesting file. The injury report for Alex Casey. So he seems physically weakened with some confusion about his whereabouts and events. Similar symptoms to those of becoming shaded individuals. Exposure to shadow is suspected but not confirmed. Wounds are minimal, light abrasions, possible mild concussion. 7:30, continued observation shows no signs of increased aggression in subject. So it remains aware and coherent, a starkly different progression than other victims. The reasons for exceptional result are unknown. It's a mess down here as well, which I suppose obviously shouldn't be a big surprise, but there is carnage and bodies and just, you know, it has been bad down here. And I do still feel real bad about Jaakko getting killed, you know. Just rotten about it. So it is worth noting at this stage that you can actually come back out into town if you so want. Light has descended upon Bright Falls. But you still have the ability to go around and look about. I'm curious to see if we can find anything interesting.
Who knows? If it's not one thing, it's the other.
I think they've got the Koskela brothers locked up in there. I saw them go in earlier.
Oh dear. Probably got them for what happened to poor Mocha the most.
It's not quite why. It's kind of weird seeing the town kind of like this. There's like this eerie haze about it, obviously with the weather and everything. Lady, it's nighttime. It's raining. Go to bed. Now, before we continue with the plot, there is... Huh. I legit didn't know this was here. There's a manuscript page by the car. The cult finds the clicker.
After getting his hands on the FBC files, Ilmo Koskela knew what he was up against. He masterminded the cult, his and Jaakko's army, to fight the fucked up horror lurking under the lake, and a plan to keep those feds in their bunker by the lake in the dark. Outsiders would only screw things up. The Koskelas sabotaged the FBC's monitoring station and rigged it to alert them when something was brewing at the lake. One time months later, when the alarm rang, they drove to the lake again, ready for a fight. But this time, they didn't find any monsters. Something else washed ashore. The light switch. They'd read how Wake had stopped Jagger with it in the stolen files. From that point on, whenever the cult caught someone taken over by the shadow, they cut out the monster's heart, pushed the switch into the hole, and flicked it.
So that's what had been going on. That's what they had the clicker for. They were using that to make sure that the Taken stayed dead. This also explains why Ilmo was with that maintenance guy at the FBC station. That was them rigging it, getting ready to set off, I assume, or maybe it was already done. I admittedly not entirely sure on all the details.
It's empty. There's nothing there, just darkness. It's empty. There's nothing there.
You don't mean... No. Wonder if maybe we might finally get into 103, but
I can't force it open.
I guess not. There's still a couple of doors in here that are not actionable. That's totally fine. In any event, what we are going to do right now, before we continue chatting with Estevez and continuing on the plot, I have one bit of business that I want to tend to, because I feel like we're getting pretty close to endgame territory here, and that is the key to the Watery Lighthouse. I want to know what's in there.
I think you may be right. Might have been a mistake to come here. I don't think Marcy's coming back.
Fuck, Riley. This is so messed up.
I know. I think you may be right. Might have been a mistake to come here.
Alright. We're off to Watery. Have we ever come to Watery at night? Pretty sure this is a first. I don't know if things change depending on the time of day or what happens. I don't honestly know. I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking about. Gotta say though, place looks absolutely deserted though, doesn't it?
And now, the sheriff's station? Did you hear?
Hear what?
Apparently, they locked up that crime writer, you know, the one who disappeared in Bright Falls years ago. And then they find him, and boom, all hell breaks loose.
Big city folk, the FBI, famous writers. Ugh, they're all bad luck if you ask me.
Well, the luck and probability department says. Hello, Mayor. Alright then. It is dark. I don't know if that's going to make getting to the lighthouse a little trickier. But we're going to go and make our way there. I'll see you guys at the lighthouse. Anyways, we'll quick swing into here. So inventory-wise, just want to say here, I've kind of got the handgun and shotgun here. I do intend on putting on the hunting rifle. I just haven't got around to putting it on quite yet. I don't think we need it this exact instant, so... I mean, I don't know quite what I might find in here, but I feel like we can probably deal with whatever. I assume this has got something to do with Ilmo and Jaakko then, as it was in one of the cult stashes. Let's have a look. Manuscript page. Hello! Oh, that's so good. The cult of the tree is born. Looks like a lot of stuff happened.
They're too old to fight monsters. The torchbearers are done. We need something new. Ilmo took a long drag from the joint and handed it to his brother. They'd been drinking and smoking all night. That thing from the lake was not a man, and the government's trying to hide it. Ilmo gestured at the files they had stolen from the research station. A strange seal with an upside-down pyramid. The Federal Bureau of Control. We need to keep the feds away. Deal with this our way. We need an army of our own. Jaakko smiled. He loved to watch his brother come up with his ideas. Ilmo's gaze swam. It was seeing double. The pyramid on the folder was a spruce tree. A tree, he thought. A fucking tree. It was a sign. We'll make the woods scary again. So fucking scary, no one will set foot in them at night. That's how we'll keep people safe. We'll be a legend. We are the cult of the tree, and we watch in the night. We're gonna need scary masks. Energized, Jaakko chugged a bottle of Ama beer in one go.
And that is something that is alluded to in some of the information as well. The sign, the simple use of the cult of the tree, the double triangle, is of course referencing the FBC, whose sign is a single triangle. Very clever. Very clever.
Ilmo Koskela jolted awake from a nightmare. He was drenched in sweat. In the dream, he'd been covered in blood, gleefully murdering people, his friends. When his twin brother had tried to talk sense into him, he had murdered Jaakko as well.
Damn.
Ilmo slammed his fist into his temple so hard it hurt. The dream made him feel sick. The dark force of the lake was growing stronger. It was trying to make Ilmo and Jaakko something they were not. Trying to turn them into Ilmari and Jakobi Huatari from the early days of Watery. But they were the Koskela brothers. Their mother had not raised them to become murderers. They had backbone. They had honor. They had finished Zissou. Something bad was coming. The hidden device they had hooked to the FBC station had been intercepting alarms like crazy the past few days. Ilmo would make sure his cult was ready for war. Out in the night, the story seeking to give birth to an overlap in Watery drifted on, looking for another pair of men more prone to corruption.
Fulton and Mulligan. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. They knew that the Clicker had a significant power. We're already aware of that. How much we had figured out. Don't think I can do any more information here. Not right now. But yeah, getting that additional inventory space. Oh man, that feels so goddamn good. You don't even know. What the hell is this?
This has got to be an Ilmo idea.
Oh my god. The Shadow Monster Light Ray 3000. They were gonna wire up a lighthouse and draw light from the main power and use it to destroy Taken. That is absolutely insane. I'm almost impressed. I'm almost impressed. Man. Crazy. Well, I'm glad I went and did that, you know. Just to learn more about the world.
This is the kind of case my ex hated. Unless it might kill me.
That's funny. The cases that might kill me were my ex's favorite.
Oh, good times. Alright then, so... It's still apparently one of these moose heads I think that I missed somewhere. It's fine. And yeah, there we go. Mayor Setter. Your pick for mayor. Adorable. Anyways, we're not here for that. We're here for some profiling. Alan, my dude.
I assumed Wake escaped the dark place. Is it possible he's still there?
The big apple in an ocean of darkness. Gone diving. Note from my editor. You're using the wrong tense. Trapped in a loop. My friends will meet him when I'm gone.
Wake is still trapped in the dark place. Maybe he always was.
This should be interesting.
Scratch was pretending to be Wake. Manipulating me. What does he want from me?
Fuck hell.
No. I'm in control here. It's my mind place. He's powerful.
Yeah.
Too powerful. Just his presence here makes me feel sick. Like a wave of terror through my head. I feel his single-minded drive to get the clicker.
Yeah, I'm going to suggest we don't try and do that ever again. Agreed? Agreed.
Wake is trapped in the dark place. He's been reaching out, communicating with me in the overlaps.
So the question is, how do we get him out of there?
The horror story's changing reality. It made it so my daughter died here, even though she's supposed to be back home in Virginia. Do you know if that's...
AWEs are localized distortions of reality. The area outside town might not be affected.
Sometimes they expand, sometimes they fizzle out. If we can make sure it's the latter, your kid might be fine.
We hope.
The whole thing is a nightmare. I can't let my family be torn apart.
Having family isn't easy in this line of work. The late nights, travel, alternate realities threatening their existence. My ex-wife couldn't take it.
Kieran, you're better off without her. I know I am.
Yeah. Estevez, she's seen some shit.
So the Cult of the Tree actually kills Taken. They were on our side, even if their methods are misguided and criminal.
It looked right from where we were standing. Nothing's what it seems in this case. Too many stories contradicting each other. Too many versions of the truth.
We have a lot of catching up to do after this thing is all over. Everything is different now. My family, me, the whole fucking world.
I'll buy the coffee, Anderson. Partners to the end.
Aww.
This case is one for the books.
I see what you did there.
You son of a bitch. That's my fucking gimmick.
So tell me what I'm missing. The FBC must know something.
Good news, we have Bureau intel on all of this. Bad news, it's highly classified. Good news, consider yourself deputized into the Federal Bureau of Control. Here's a key to the cell where we keep the files.
Woohoo!
Happy reading.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, we're in the
Go
FBC.
team.
Lucky us. Better than a kick in the teeth. All right then. Let's see what we can't learn then. Here's the byway. I've modified our inventory. I've now got the hunting rifle on, as you can see here. Plenty of health. We've even got a charm, just in case. We'll see where the world takes us. So let's see what the FBC knows about all this. The answer is probably a lot. Start looking. Interview with Alan Wake, led by Kieran. I've been taken by FBC custody. We'll receive an in-depth interrogation. For now, I need to ask if there's anything you can tell us regarding the incident at a hotel. So this is what they thought was Alan, but this is actually Scratch, though, right? Again, not going to read on everything here. I'm going to read in brief. If you want to read it all, then feel free to pause. Yeah, feeds on artists, hence Alice as well. I'm tracking the situation for a long time. You yourself have been on our radar for over a decade. I'm sure those nuts in the research department are going to love checking you out. Hey, make a note to redact that submission before submission. And it's... You're in custody pending charges for breaching the numerous federal violation codes. We're not going to give you a suspected paranatural object. If any accomplices, fuck you. Let me the fuck out of here. Interview was terminated due to subject being uncooperative. Oops, sorry. This is the good stuff.
Wake isn't the first person the Dark Presence disguised itself as.
Nope. The Shadow. Through extensive interviews and witnesses of AW-35, additional details regarding the Shadow have been discovered. Redacted and Redacted, both present during the AWE, reported seeing a woman named Barbara Jagger in Bright Falls. Jagger is the former actress and Bright Falls resident who emigrated from the filmmaker Thomas Zane from Finland and was reported to have drowned in Cauldron Lake during 1970. The research staff have concluded that Jagger's appearance is likely a case of the Shadow manifesting in human form. Research is ongoing as to the nature of the connection between the Shadow and the psychophysical signatures available for it to mimic. Current hypotheses are that the Shadow can be manifested as artists or individuals tangentially involved in the creation of art who have operated within a certain physical range of the lake, or the Shadow can manifest as any individual contained within Cauldron Lake. Research is actively ongoing. So this is relating to the first game where Barbara Jagger was the ultimate final boss, basically. And Alan killed her by cutting out her heart, basically, and using the clicker inside and destroying her. Hence why the cult, the tree, have been doing the same.
The lake is a gateway to the dark place.
It is. About 1900 hours on September 13th, readings from the remote surveillance surrounding Cauldron Lake passed acceptable limits. Attempts to contact the research facility was unsuccessful. On-site verification was not possible. Response procedures are initiated with immediate effect. Lead agent Estevez will mobilize investigation unit Beta from the remote operations site. All available shadow-specific equipment has been approved for use in the field. They need to confirm an active event. If so, dispatch team will identify its nature and severity, attempting to neutralize the source. If no event is active, check the monitoring equipment performing a limited profile sweep of the area. Relevant operatives in the area include the Cult of the Tree, Redacted, and Alan Wake, currently missing. Also, the other file, sorry.
What the hell is a para-utilitarian?
Should play control. So, para-utility, which we've mentioned about before, is basically referring to someone that has the ability to use objects of power and altered items. If you don't know what any of those mean, read on. So, based on reports, the item is a light switch. This is item non-94F from a lamp cord. Eyewitness accounts suggest that the item possesses the ability to alter reality. The changes being based upon, as we know, Alan's work, when used by a capable para-utilitarian. Passing this item's effect from that of the Cauldron Lake threshold responsible for recurring AWEs in the area is difficult because the only reported use of the item have occurred near the threshold. More data, we cannot confirm if the item intensifies the effect of the threshold or vice versa. We know the story. Recorded material from Dr. Hartman after becoming a Controls DLC revealed that Alan Wake eliminated Barbara Jagger by inserting the light switch into his chest and flicking the switch. The item is confirmed to have been used in 2010 to turn fictional writing into reality. It is unclear what the restrictions and limitations of the effect are. The light switch is a possible OOP, an object of power, but the team cannot conclusively classify the item based on second-hand accounts. Proper examination and testing is required in order to determine classification and precise effects of the item. Yeah. All the good stuff in here. All the good stuff. Well, we're learning. Here. Yep. So Wake is in the dark place, and the Cauldron Lake is how to get in there. I think I know where this is going.
I need to know what information I can still trust.
Yeah, so Scratch pretended to be Wake, used us. Yeah, can anything Wake said be trusted? I don't know. Yeah, the Wake has used the clicker to change reality before. Yeah, he's done it. Let's chat with Tor.
Wake told me the clicker would fix this. But Wake was actually Scratch. How can I trust anything he said?
The artist must conclude his work. He rides a storm on your piece. Wake up and smell the danger. We told you already, kiddo. What Tom said about the light switch is true. Don't let the story confuse you. You need him to write the ending you want. The clicker can make that ending come true.
But we don't have Wake. Everything we knew about the clicker was true. He wasn't lying.
No. Just the reasons he was telling you were not quite the same as what you'd hoped. You know how it is. So, we got the information on the clicker. This goes over here.
The clicker amplifies any changes to reality suggested by a piece of art. Makes them permanent.
Pretty spiffy, right? Pretty spiffy. So, I don't think I need to particularly I'm pretty sure I know where this story and this game's plot is now going. And what we're about to go ahead and do. And it's gonna be wild.
Scratch told me the clicker can be used to change the story. Does that match your understanding of this thing?
Yeah, the light switch is a paranatural item, maybe even an object of power. We have verified reports that Alan Wake was in possession of it during the AWE here back in 2010. And it definitely has power. We know that much.
I can come up with a plan. I always do.
So... this is going to be fun.
The clicker can fix this. But I can't use it without Wake. Tor knows about this stuff. Maybe he can help. Wake is still in the dark place. How do I get him out?
We live and breathe rock and roll. From the silence of screams, from the fever of dreams. The clicker can amp up other works of art, not just Tom's writing. Anything created with passion. The dark power of the lake will make it creep into reality. But if the holder of the clicker believes in the art, they can make it all come true in the flick of a switch.
I can use the clicker without Wake. Only Wake's writing can change the horror story. But I can use the clicker to change something else. Like getting Wake out of the dark place.
Yep. That is exactly what we are about to try to do.
I will use the clicker to change reality and bring Wake back at Cauldron Lake. I'll need the right work of art, but that won't be a problem.
This should be interesting.
I've got it now. I just need to tell the others what to do and fix everything. For good.
Here we go.
So we need Wake to fix the story, right? That hasn't changed. So here's what I have. Wake's still trapped in the dark place, under the lake. I think we can use the clicker to get him out. But first, we need a work of art. Something other than his story. And that'll get him here.
I'm not filling out the paperwork for this one. I wouldn't know where to start. But I'm sold.
Okay. Look, this feels like something that once we get the ball rolling, there's no turning back. You sure you have it all figured out?
This is the beginning of the end game. To travel to Cauldron Lake, you will need to save your game first. Exploring and traveling to other areas will be limited if you choose to continue. This is your point of no return.
Not just yet. Give me a moment.
Okay, Anderson.
So,
You let me know when you're ready.
if there is anything else that you want to do at this point before you go and finish this game, now is the time. This is also the moment where if you have not yet done and finished off Alan's story, that you're going to need to go ahead and do that too. That has bugged, interestingly. So, anything else that you want to do at this point? You gotta do it right now. We're gonna go ahead and save the game. Hard save. And next time, we go fetch ourselves out of Cauldron Lake. 1 Prime Alan Wake. I'll see you then.